Hello everyone, and welcome back to another tutorial video. And in today's tutorial we're going to continue our look at some simple poses to help you in your anime and manga character drawing experience. So this one we're going for a pretty classic pose here. I see it quite a lot. I'm going to draw over in this empty space so I have plenty of room. I see this pose quite a lot in people's fan arts and when I'm reading manga and stuff, so figured it'd be a good one to show because it's pretty simple, but it looks nice once it's done. So just doing a very basic head here, just like this, putting in little ear marks. I'll give her a little cat smile, why not? Put a little nose there. Alright, so from here we will have our shoulder line slightly up. We don't want it to be like a V like this, like her arms aren't necessarily like up above her head or something, but we just want the shoulder line to be ever so slightly angled up because the hand, like the arms are going to be raised just a touch. So we'll angle those up. We'll put in our little rib guide here along with the base of the ribs. We'll put in the shoulder circles here. We'll connect them to our collarbone. We'll put in a simple neck shape, but before we really get the traps involved, we will draw the arms and stuff, just so that way we can further understand what the traps are actually going to be doing in this pose. So before any of that though, let's get this a little bit more up and down here. Our hip line will be straight like this, keeping it pretty much even with the shoulders. I'm just using some little guidelines there. We'll connect to the base of our hips just kind of like this, and then give it this sort of a point. Like so. And then we can mark off the hips because these are just bones, they're not going to go anywhere, so we'll mark that out like so. And then following our ribs, we'll just connect these real quick. So we'll just kind of have a straightish line moving like this, and then we'll just meet it from the hips. And we'll have our belly lines here. So I'm just having little shapes on the outsides like that, a little rounded at the base. And I'll have our little belly button kind of there in the middle. Then we'll bring these hips down a little bit so they're a little bit wider, like so. Then again, I'm gonna have to shrink my character a little bit just so I have plenty of room for her entire body. From there, we'll kind of have her legs. Well, we'll have her legs kind of straight up and down, but we'll give them they'll be a little bit different from what we've been looking at just because, well, I guess you'll see once we're putting them in. But for right now, we'll put those right there. It's going to be a little bit different than what we're used to just because we're going for a more cutesy anime character here. So we're going to angle the legs a little bit to help give that sort of overall vibe, basically. So we'll put this like that, and then from here, just like normal, we'll connect the inner thighs with this sort of shape like that. We'll keep the thighs at their thickest just below the the hips here. Well, my hips are a little bit too pointed, so I'm gonna smooth them out a little bit. Like so. Alright, we are going to elongate this. I don't know why, but I just made them super small. So, for this now, what we're going to do is we're going to give a concave line, and this one's going to be a bit more concave than what we're used to. So, we're not trying to keep it quite as straight up and down, because we're always doing a concave line when they're looking right at us, but it's not going to be this exaggerated, typically. But for this character, her feet are going to be kind of angled in a little bit, like this, which is going to then push her calf out more. Like so. So we'll still connect this like so. We'll kind of move this foot over a bit. And we'll tighten up these calves a little bit. Like that. So for this, we're basically angling the feet, which is in turn going to point the knees this way, along with our feet, but it's going to push the calves that way. So we're going to have an exaggerated bend for the shin, and then a nice pop on the calves like that. So it's just kind of an angle that I see a lot of anime characters and manga characters drawn in. It's nice for the more cutesy characters, I think, just because it gives them a little bit more pep or something. Just kind of gives them a carefree sort of flow. So if you're trying to make a more cutesy character, then this can be helpful to help accentuate that. So now we'll put in our traps, and then for this, we will have our elbows tucked right there. So basically, right where the ribs kind of end here in the front, you have kind of an opening. That's about where your elbows are going to fall. So we'll have those in like that, and then we'll have them just out to the side. And if you notice, if you kind of put yourself in the same position with your own arms, then you'll kind of see that where your hands end will be basically in line with the tops of your shoulders. So we'll kind of add that in, along with some some super simple hand shapes here. So we'll have the thumb like so, and we'll have the fingers tucked. So this is just kind of a classic hand position that I see quite often. So we'll do this and kind of tuck the fingers as we go. Super simple though, this isn't a hand tutorial, so, but if you're trying to draw the hand here, that's kind of what you're keeping in mind. It's just kind of tucking the fingers, making them smaller as they go. Then we'll connect here, and then meet together here. Like this. And then we'll have her kind of pushing her chest together. So instead of them really like popping out to the side like this or something, they're gonna kind of be squished and pushing firm against each other here. So we'll have them right up next to each other here. Like this. And there we go. So again, just like normal, I'm just gonna reposition because I'm just working in this page for this particular tutorial series. So I'll move her over here, and then I'll just do the line art. So nothing crazy for the line art here, just keeping it pretty simple. Just kind of go over what we're up to here. So I'll put in the head shape here, the jaw. Oops. Jaw got crazy on me. The ears. Like this. We're giving her kind of a little cat mouth. We'll put in the neck from here. Oops. Kind of keeping these looking like they're being pushed on from either side, like so. This one needs to loosen up because they're getting, you can think of it that they're getting pushed this way. So we still want to try to keep their overall mass. She's got a rather large chest, but we don't want them to kind of spill over past her hands and arms. I guess not past her hands, but past her arms. If they were coming past her hands, I'd probably just get demonetized before I can even monetize. So that would go crazy. So we'll just do this. Poke this in. We'll do this. Like so. Connect these. And in these sorts of poses, it's okay if your left breast and the right breast aren't perfectly symmetrical, because one can kind of overtake the other. So you don't have to be so fixated on making them the exact same shape, just opposite. It's just try to make them have the same mass, if that makes any sense. So they can be a little bit different shape. One can kind of be crossing over the center line more than the other, but you still got to try to make it look like it's the same size, just they're reacting differently. So we'll put in our stuff there. We'll kind of bring in this hourglass figure here, just because I rounded out the hips a little bit so they don't stick out quite as much as they did when we first made those lines. Like that. At the base of the hips there. And again, we're gonna take this inside route all the way to the knees. We'll connect the backs of the glutes there. Put in our outer thighs, keeping them at their thickest kind of in this point here. From there, nice concave line, kind of swoop it in, and then pop out for the calf. Look at this. And there we go. So mark this a little bit, kind of make this smaller. There. So yeah, so that's kind of just a classic sort of cutesy anime manga position. Just kind of pressing the chest together, having the hands kind of up, tucked in under the thumb, looking right at us, and remember that the feet are going to be slightly angled as well, like this. So if you're doing detailed full body position, then you'll want to remember that the feet aren't just all of a sudden looking straight at us. they're going to follow the knee, which is pointed kind of towards us like that, because they're just basically being pushed like that. It's just at a slight angle. So try to keep that in mind while you're doing that, but for this I'm just doing simple hands and feet. So either way, kind of a classic position. So hopefully this is a position that, or a pose that you have seen before, and maybe you needed help drawing, and hopefully this is helpful for that. So I will see you guys in the next one.